Hello everyone, Queen of the North, Ash here to say that it's over. After 8 seasons in 8 years, spread across 73 episodes, Game of Thrones has finally served its final sentence. The watch is over. After almost a decade of winter coming, unease brewing, and houses warring, after tens of hours of politicking and backstabbing, sex and violence, love and death, it is time to say a final farewell to Westeros. But how did it all go down to get there? This will be a brief rundown of the episode if you didn't catch it, so the night is dark and full of spoilers as usual. Let's get the biggest question of almost a decade of television answered in all its fiery glory. Who wins the Game of Thrones? Season 8, Episode 6, titled The Iron Throne, opens up with the fallout of Daenerys' destruction in the Bells, as those loyal to her have to try and reckon with her, decision. As it is some decision. For Grey Worm, that means serving his queen by slashing people to death in the streets. For Tyrion, it means resigning in protest and being thrown in a cell. For Jon Snow, it is somewhere in between. Jon is torn between being horrified by Dany's actions and wanting to be true to his pledge and remain loyal to his queen. You know what these Starkmen are like. After a conversation with Tyrion in his cell, however, he realises what has to be done. Daenerys will keep on killing in the name of liberty, and she must be stopped if he's half as good as he thinks he is. Jon goes to see Dany as the latter is just about to finally sit on the Iron Throne she has wanted for so long. Instead, all she gets is a little touch of the side and doesn't even get her arse in the seat before he comes over and jabs her one in the chest. Looks like Dany isn't winning in this race then. As Daenerys dies, Drogon arrives on the scene, distraught at his mother's death. Rather than take it out on Jon, he turns his fiery fury to the Iron Throne instead, burning it down before flying off with Dany's body. With Dany dead and Jon in a cell for killing his queen, Westeros needs a new leader. A council made up of the remaining major houses meets in the Dragon Pit, including some familiar but long missing faces, such as Edmund Tully, Robin Arryn, and even the new Prince of Dorne, although he doesn't quite get a name. Nominated by Tyrion himself after lots of backhanded insults about being broken and having dick troubles, they named Bran Stark as the new king of Westeros, protector of the realm and ruler of the 6 kingdoms. That is 6, as Sansa supports her brother but insists that the North remain an independent state. And who's going to disagree with her at this stage? Not me. She's a bad bitch. In King's Landing, Brienne writes Jaime Lannister's entry in the White Book of the Kingsguard before we get to meet the new small council, led by Hand of the King, Tyrion. The council includes Brienne as Lord Commander, Bran as Master of Coin, Davos as Master of Ships, and Sam as Grand Maester, whilst Podrick has now been knighted, which is wonderful. Bran briefly meets them before going off to see if he can warg into Drogon, or something very cool that we didn't actually get to see in the episode. Oh well. In Winterfell, Sansa is declared Queen in the North, Arya sets sail for lands unknown to the west of Westeros, and Jon makes it to the Wall, reunites with Tormund and Ghost like he always should have done, and sets off beyond it with them and the rest of the free folk. He finally gave the dog a nice rub. That's all we ever wanted. But then that begs the question of who won. Bran is the king of the kingdoms, but kind of unwillingly, whereas Sansa has separated the North as an independent state and rules as queen, looking very badass in her clothes. So I know I'd pick out of those two. But in general, it's really the Starks that have won this. They all get to do what they want, they're free, they're going to live the lives that they always wanted and deserved in this hellhole of an existence. They are the real winners of Game of Thrones. Jon, Arya, Sansa, all 3 of them, and Bran as well, but he's the 3-eyed raven, so it doesn't count. But yeah, very good guys. So what do you think about the season, the episode, and the winners of Game of Thrones? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come back for more wonderful Game of Thrones content, even if we are at the very end of the season. It's really the end? Well, what do I do now? Whilst I have an existential crisis, I will see you again soon. Vala Morghulis!